Wrestling fam, welcome back to Wrestling Pro News, the one place where we dive without hesitation into the deepest, wildest, and most unpredictable corners of professional wrestling, pulling back the curtain on the chaos, the rivalries, and the moments that have the entire WWE universe talking. And today's story is a powder keg ready to explode because at SummerSlam 2025 the ongoing war between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu reached a new level of brutality, betrayal, and family warfare that could redefine the entire balance of power in WWE. Solo Sikoa, leading his ruthless and calculating faction MFD, Mft Family Tree, entered the night as the reigning United States champion. And he did so with the kind of confidence that comes from knowing that not only is he one of the most physically dominant forces in the company, but he also has the most dangerous stable in the industry watching his back. On the other side stood Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, a man driven not only by the hunger for gold but also by personal vengeance, pride, and the deep wounds left by Solo's betrayal and the implosion of family loyalty that once bound them together. The stipulation was a steel cage match, a choice meant to ensure that the outcome would be decided between the two warriors inside, with the cold steel keeping all outside interference at bay. But if history has taught us anything about the MFD, it's that cages, rules, and stipulations are nothing more than obstacles to be manipulated, and somehow, some way, they still found a way to inject themselves into the fight. From the opening bell, Solo wasted no time in taking control, using the unforgiving steel as an extension of his arsenal, slamming Fatu's body into the mesh, grinding his face along the links, and keeping him grounded with a relentless assault that spoke volumes about his determination to walk out still champion. But Fatu, fueled by rage and resilience, fought back with explosive power, delivering a thunderous Samoan drop that rattled the ring and following it up with a breathtaking moonsault that came within inches of securing the victory. The crowd was electric, sensing that the tide might finally turn, but MFD's ever-present shadow loomed large. Tama Tonga, one of Solo's most loyal enforcers, scaled the cage in a moment of pure desperation, producing a pair of handcuffs and locking Fatu to the top turnbuckle, leaving him vulnerable and immobile as Solo sought to make his escape. But in a jaw-dropping moment, Fatu ripped himself free, the chain snapping under his raw power, and he intercepted Solo just before he could climb over the cage. The arena erupted, but just as momentum shifted, chaos spilled in from all sides. Jimmy Uso charged down to ringside, fighting off JC Mateo and Tanga Loa in a wild brawl that sent bodies flying. For a brief moment it looked like Fatu had the backup he needed, but Tama Tonga slammed the steel door into Fatu's head with sickening force, dropping him to the mat and giving Solo the opening to slip through the cage door, both feet hitting the floor to retain his United States Championship. The aftermath was as intense as the match itself. Fatu and Jimmy managed to trap Mateo and Loa inside the cage, with Fatu scaling to the top in a display of pure defiance before launching himself into a massive moonsault that wiped them out, the crowd roaring in appreciation for the Samoan werewolf's heart, even in defeat. Social media exploded in the hours that followed, with fans praising Fatu's resilience and calling for justice, but the cold reality remained: MFD still held the gold, and as long as they had the numbers, Solo's reign would continue unchecked. That's why whispers of Jey Uso's potential return have now taken center stage in fan discussions. Jey, the other half of the legendary twin duo with Jimmy, has not been seen on SmackDown since June 6, but his history with Solo is long, bitter, and unresolved. If Jimmy can convince Jey to return, the odds would shift dramatically, forming a trio with Fatu that could finally challenge MFD's stranglehold over the division. The possibilities are staggering. Imagine an August 8 SmackDown where Jimmy calls out Solo, demanding another fight for Fatu, only for MFD to swarm the ring, the beatdown moments away from breaking both men down. Then, suddenly, Jey's music hits, the crowd explodes, and he storms down, unloading a series of superkicks and spears that leave MFD scrambling for safety, the newly united front standing tall as the crowd chants in unison. From there, the story could unfold into a six-man tag war, pitting Fatu, Jimmy, and Jay against Solo, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa, with the outcome possibly leading to another United States Championship match at Survivor Series or a high-stakes Wargames battle that could headline the event. And hanging over it all is the possibility of Roman Reigns returning to pick a side, turning the personal grudge into a full-blown Anoa'i family civil war with generational pride on the line. This is bigger than a title feud. This is about legacy, about who controls the narrative of the most storied wrestling family in history, and about whether the bonds of blood can withstand the weight of betrayal and ambition. Wrestling fam, while Solo Sikoa'S Mft walked out of SummerSlam 2025 with the championship intact, the war is far from over. Jacob Fatu's fight continues, Jimmy Uso remains by his side, and Jey Uso could be the final piece needed to tip the scales. If that happens, we won't just be witnessing a new chapter in WWE, we'll be seeing the rise of a revolution that could change the company forever. So drop your thoughts below, let us know where you stand in this family battle, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Wrestling Pro News because the next chapter of this saga is coming fast, and when it hits, it's going to shake WWE to its core.